Predator is well known as one of the worst perks in Dead by Daylight, since all it does is it makes survivors' scratch marks come closer together so it'll be easier to track and follow survivors. At least that's what it did for the past 7 years until recently when it got a rework which turned it into one of the most broken killer perks in Dead by Daylight. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew Camps. Today's video we're going to be talking about the newly buffed Predator perk in Dead by Daylight. Why was it useless? What changed? And how it can be balanced? Without further ado, let's get into it. The Predator is one of the OG perks that has existed since the release of Dead by Daylight back in 2016. Actually, when it released, its only use was to extend the duration of scratch marks that were visible to the killer for only 3 seconds. And that's basically all it did, which was pretty much nothing. So as you can tell, the perk was in big need of a buff or rework, which is what led to the version we used to know for 7 years as mentioned earlier. But sadly, the new buffed version of it was still pretty much useless, and I'm honestly really surprised it took them 7 whole years to rework it. I understand the thought behind the perk. It was a unique tracking ability, but since then, auto reading is 100% the way to go as killer if you require info, so this is why Behavior went ahead and reworked it into an auto reading perk. And with the distortion nerf on the same update, it's time for Predator to shine. How the perk works and it's so good now, you might ask? Well, Predator now reveals the aura of any survivor that loses chase with the killer for 6 seconds, then it goes on cooldown for 40 seconds. The perk now is not only good, but also problematic in some occasions. Some killers, more than others, can utilize this perk to its full potential, such as Nurse, Blight, Spirit, Billy, Busker, and Wraith, to name a few. All of these killers I just mentioned can quickly catch up to a survivor that escaped the chase, but also a killer like Huntress can use this perk to hit survivors from a distance that think they actually escaped the chase. On lower tier killers such as Trapper, Legion, or Myers, this perk is not that big of a deal. While it's still good, it's not problematic. The biggest problem of them all is Nurse, obviously. No surprise there, because she can instantly blink towards the survivor that escaped. People might argue, oh, the perk has a 40 seconds cooldown, so it's okay if it's a little too strong. But does that cooldown really matter? No. Let me tell you why. In a scenario where a survivor loses chase, then their aura is revealed, it's more likely that the killer will find them again and down them, then hook them and go find another survivor to chase. But while all of this is happening, it's more than enough time for Predator to go out of cooldown and can be used again in the next chase. So you can see where I'm going with it. Basically, the cooldown essentially does nothing. It only helps for the fact that you can't get it on the same survivor in the same chase twice, but let's be honest, if you need Predator to pop twice in a chase to catch a survivor, maybe you should just switch to Dead by Roblox. But now that we have said whatever needed to be said about this perk, let's discuss ways it can be changed to be more balanced. How would I personally change the perk? Well, first up, without changing the concept of the current version, I would just maybe reduce the number a little bit. Instead of 6 seconds of auto reveal, I would turn it down to 3 seconds. Because the point of the perk is so you know where the survivor you lost chase with went. But the long auto reveal just makes it easier for killers to down survivors. By tuning it down to 3 seconds, it will work essentially just for a little info on where the survivor went after you lost them, which I think will be more than enough. Secondly, we can keep the aura duration as it is, but increase the cooldown to 60 seconds, so if you down a survivor quickly, you can immediately get Predator again in the next chase. The next idea I have is a concept that utilizes the previous version of Predator, since I like that concept more because it was more of a unique way of tracking survivors. So Predator will still make scratch marks appear closer to each other, but it would also make more scratch marks appear in a wider range around the survivors running, so the scratch marks would appear on the walls as well. But I would also give the perk a second effect that if a survivor is walking, not crouching, around the map, they leave behind this blue kind of like blood on the floor that drops every 5 seconds and works exactly like scratch marks that start to fade after a bit. My last idea, and probably the one I would personally go with, is to give all the nerfs I discussed earlier, but also keep the old effect of it with the scratch marks, so it can be both an auto reading perk, but also help your track survivors better through scratch marks, but with the quality of life change as I mentioned earlier. We make it more scratch marks spawn and that they can appear on walls. So you'd have 3 seconds of auto reveal on a survivor that loses chase, and you can use their scratch marks to help track them better with a 60-second cooldown on the auto revealing. Would this be balanced? Probably. Would it still be strong on some killers? Again, probably. And would it be mediocre at best on low tier killers? Once again, probably. But at least it will be in a fairer state while keeping its original cost. Predator is just one of those cases as a perk that is extremely strong on some killers and extremely underwhelming on others. So there's just really not a proper way to balance the perk, sadly, so unless Behavior is willing to rework it again, I can see this perk being a little problematic for the future, but if we're being honest, the perk is most strong on Nurse for obvious reasons, but other perks like Nowhere to Hide and Floods of Rage are extremely OP on Nurse, and those perks haven't really been touched for the reason that they just aren't as strong on every killer, so I don't really see Predator getting that big of a nerf anytime soon, so Nurse mains, I hope that you're happy. What do you think about the newly buffed Predator? Is it calling for an immediate nerf? Is it balanced, or do you think it's still pretty bad? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and take like 5 seconds of your time to drop me a follow on my Twitch channel. I'm live 4 days a week, and me and my community always have a blast playing this stupid ass game called Dead by Daylight. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.